Thanks for listening to Exploring the Wineglass podcast, the podcast for people who love wine. I'm Lori Budd, a UC Davis winemaking program and WSET Level 2 graduate. You can find Exploring the Wineglass on all the socials as well as your favorite podcast catchers. If you haven't subscribed yet, now is the perfect time. I promise I'll never tell you what to drink, but I'll always share what's in my glass. Hey everyone, welcome to Exploring the Wineglass, sponsored by Dracaena Wines. Today, we return to Winephabet Street, where the letter of the day is B, and it stands for Barbera. Barbera is a versatile red grape from the Piemonte region in northern Italy. Since there has been no genetic relationship to any other native Piemontese grape, it is thought that the grape must have been imported into the region sometime in the recent past. Barbera used to be known as the Piemonte people's wine, since it was so versatile and was planted in such abundance. So sit back, uncork, unscrew, or saber a bottle and enjoy. Sláinte. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 2 of Winephabet Street. And we are talking about Barbera today. So, yay!
Yeah.
Very excited. And I have Elmo here with me today to help introduce everything. And it is kind of a yucky day outside. Was it by Cape May, Deb?
Yeah, it's kind of a day where I'm glad after I worked out, I didn't have to go anywhere.
Ah, yes.
You know? I mean, I did change my clothes for Winephabet Street to put on a nice sweater.
Ooh, you got all fancy for wine.
The lousy sweatshirt I was on.
You got fancy for Winephabet Street,
I
huh?
did. I put on something presentable.
Oh, all right. Elmo likes it. Elmo likes it.
We're moving our body to the ABC. Dance nearby. Dance far away. Now clap your hands. To the letter of the day. Clap, clap. What's the letter? Clap, clap. What's the letter? Clap, 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 clap. What's the letter? 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 The letter of the day. It's the letter of the day.
Clap, clap. Clap, clap. It's the letter of the day. And we are talking Barbera today. So I'm pretty excited because I have had Barbera in the past. And I've always liked it. So I'm kind of excited to try this wine. And it was kind of cool doing some research on it because I just grabbed a bottle and then I found out that the region that my bottle is from is one of the top regions, like the region. So gotta love it when a plan comes together.
Yeah, and I was hoping you had that one because I've got the other region.
Right.
And they are slightly different.
Yes. So it'll be very interesting to see how it goes. But let's do some introductions first. So I'm Lori. I'll go first today. I'm Lori.
Okay.
My husband and I own Dracaena Wines in Paso Robles. I am on social media under both Dracaena Wines and Exploring the Wineglass, which is the blog and the podcast. I am a UC Davis winemaking graduate as well as a WSET Level 2 graduate. And I am right now in the midst of organizing everything for December 4th, which is Cab Franc Day. So please check out Twitter and check out social media and use that hashtag Cab Franc Day and share the love on December 4th.
And I'm Debbie Giaquindo. I'm the Hudson Valley Wine Goddess. I'm a certified specialist of wine, a wine location specialist in port and champagne. I'm also a certified travel counselor. And I'm an author of Tapping the Hudson Valley, a guide to the craft beverage producers and the sites along the way in the Hudson Valley, and co-owner or partner in Kitchen 330, which is a restaurant in Stone Harbor. And I think that's probably about it for right now. That's all I can handle. I can't handle anything more on my plate.
You and me both, man. I need a break. So we are talking Barbera, and we're back. We are back in the Piemonte region.
So I've got a question for you.
For me?
Yes. Well, here's the question just overall. So Piedmont, I was going with Piedmont, and then I was looking for maps, and it says Piedmont. So I got, for a moment, totally confused. You know, so is there an American spelling for it?
Ding, 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 ding. You got it.
Is that what it is?
American. Us Americans. Yes. There's an American.
Because it got me totally baffled. I'm like, what is it?
Yeah,
Piedmont.
the American has the D. I don't, because it's Piemonte.
Yeah.
So the Americans add a D. I don't know why, but I don't know. We like to add letters to.
It shouldn't have even been. We should have just figured it out and let it be.
I know, because it doesn't make it any easier to say, so I don't know.
I don't either.
Anyway, the most important part, drum roll please, we are drinking. So mine is from Dasti.
Oh, a really good one. I've got you covered in my stuff.
So yes, Natalie Verga, and best of all, $7.99.
That is way cool. Mine was $14.99.
Yeah, but you blew me away on my Asuratico. Remember, my Asuratico was like twice as much as yours.
Yeah, mine was $17.
Look at that beauty. Oh, big difference, although it might just be light.
I think it's a light.
Yeah.
Oh. One of these days we got to do it together.
Yeah, I know. I know. Oh, what a lovely nose.
Ooh. Wow.
I love it when I like my wine. So the history of Barbera. Barbera is a versatile red grape from the Piemonte region, which is in northern Italy. Since there has been no genetic relationship to any other native Piemontese grape, it is thought that the grape must have been imported into the region in some recent time. So I think that's kind of cool because like there's no relationship to any other grape, native grape in Italy in that area. So that's kind of rare. Like usually there's some sort of relationship. So science has to say that must have meant that somebody trucked it in. The other thing I thought was pretty cool about Barbera is that it is known as the Piemonte's people wine, since it is so versatile. And at some point, it was planted so extensively, like it was just the grape of choice, or the grape that everybody was drinking, I should say. It is most likely the grape written about in the Paul the Deacon in his description of the Battle of Refrancourt in 663, when the Longobards troops of Grimaldo defeated the Franks after getting them drunk on wine. That's pretty awesome. Let's get them drunk so they lose. He confirmed that the Longobards filled amphorae with wine and scattered them around the surrounding fields. The Franks found the jugs, drank them like out of control, finished them, and then they were completely unfit for a battle. Like, I'm sorry, I just think that's hysterical. Let's get people drunk so they can't fight. And this is now the second wine that I've learned had anything to do with battles, because as we go into our letter E, but I learned it while I was in Hungary, the bull's blood also is called bull's blood because of the battles. So history is absolutely my worst. I really never got into history high school, never got into history in college. So I had no clue what that battle was. So I had to check it out. And the battle was fought between the Franks and the Lombards. And the battle was won by the Lombards. And the blood spilt by the Franks tinted a local stream red, giving the area a Latin name, Rivis Exsanguine Francorum, which literally translates to a stream full of Franks' blood. All right. The pretty grape Barbera. There's also documentation from the 16th century in the city hall of Nizza Monteferrato, which mentions the growing of the grapes, which is thought to be Barbera. In 1798, Count Nouvelune, in his duties as deputy director of the Agrarian Society of Turin, identified Barbera in his writings on the varietals grown in Piedmont. He listed it under the name Vitis vinifera Monteferratensis, which basically meant the grapes grown in the hills of Monteferrato. When phylloxera hit in the Piedmont region in the late 1800s, it required substantial replanting of vines. Barbera was the choice for many new plantings due to its ease of growth and vigor, which helped and ultimately harmed the concept of Barbera. So very similar to Merlot. All of this grape is planted there. It is not really well cared for. It's just grown to produce as much tonnage as possible, so the quality had dropped. So it became very much known as a bulk wine. Historically, it is blended with more tannic red grapes from southern Italy for the bulk wines, and it really tends to not have, or used to not have, any real true aroma or palate profile of itself. So it's like the tofu of the grape world, right? It just takes on the flavor of whatever is blended with it. In the mid-1970s, Michel Chiarlo in Asti began using malolactic fermentation to change the harsher malic acid to the softer lactic acid, and this allowed for a more finesse wine. And he also produced Barbera as a varietal wine, which increased its name and recognition and popularity. So he is really the reason why Barbera started to become its own entity, to become a varietal versus just part of a blending grape. And then during the 1980s and 90s, the Super Tuscans, they came on board and everybody was like, woohoo, Super Tuscans. And, they took front stage. So the winemakers started experimenting with barrel aging on Barbera. And that, they learned, changed the characteristics of the grape, of the wine also. And it added a little bit of spice. And that has now become what we are more familiar with in this quality Barbera. Giacomo Bologna of the Breda estate was the first to actually barrel age, and his Bricco del Ossolone was the first internationally marketed Barbera, and he actually led the way for other winemakers to follow in his footsteps. So he's kind of like the true father of making sure Barbera made it to other countries and was deemed more than just the people's table wine. It is the fourth most widely planted grape in Italy, and it is most widely planted grape in Piemonte, and it accounts for over 50% of the annual DOC red wine production, and it actually makes up 35% of all vineyard area. DOC regulations allow for generous yields and low ABV. Alba, Asti, and Monteferrato are the three DOCs within Piemonte. Within these DOCs, there are actually even smaller townships. The highest quality Barbera comes from the DOCG, Barbera d'Asti, which is what I have. The Monteferrato zone is considered Barbera's birthplace, and records of it growing there exist as far back as the 13th century. The hills around Alba and Monteforte de Alba have proved to be capable of growing some of the best Barbera in the world. Barbera actually is in other areas. We do have Barbera in Paso. Although it is not often seen labeled outside of Italy, it is found in many other Italian regions. It is the most planted grape in the Lombardy around Milan. Sardinian has its own strain known as Barbera sarda, and in other areas of Europe, such as in the Primorsky coastal region of Slovenia on the Italian border. It is also popular in the Central Valley of California. So the Central Valley is not the Central Coast, so it is in both areas. In Argentina, it can be found in Mendoza and San Juan, and it is becoming more popular in Victoria, Australia. John Doyle from the Cupertino Wine Company and the Las Palmas Winery is the first to import Barbera into California and produced his first vintage of Barbera way back in 1884. In the late 1890s, the Italian-Swiss Colony Winery used it to produce its table wines, and Louis Martini was the first to produce it post-prohibition, and that was in 1954. So generally speaking, Barbera is usually drunk young in Italy, but now that they are becoming barrel-aged, they can be cellared up to 10 years. So that is the history.
So the Barbera grape is grown in the Piemonte region of Italy. The hills of Monferrato are considered its native home. Barbera Asti, DOCG, and Barbera d'Alba are said to be the best quality of Barbera in Italy. So Barbera is a late ripening grape. It retains its acidity even when fully ripe. The highest acidity is the hallmark of the grape. It's light-bodied with low tannins. The wines of Barbera d'Asti tend to be brighter in color and elegant, while Barbera d'Alba tend to have a deeper color with more intense, powerful fruit. So the flavors that you can get from Barbera are strawberry, raspberry, red and black cherry, blackberry. There's some tartness, some plum. If it's put in oak, you'll get some toast, a little vanilla. There's also some sour cherry and spice. So winemakers began introducing Barbera to oak in the 80s as it tames a little bit of the acidity, and it also brings some vanilla and spice to the wine. And the oak also makes the wine a little bit rounder, softer, as well as a little bit more complex, and it also makes it age-worthy. So the superior designation in Barbera d'Asti means that it's aged at least 14 months before it's released. And of those 14 months, 6 months have to be in oak. Barbera d'Asti tends to be a little bit more fruitier with a little bit more minerality. And the Superior incorporates new practices. They use a little bit riper fruit that has lower yields, and oak. It's a little richer with more depth and complexity that expresses the red fruit in oak. And Superior is made from single vineyards, and this has increased the quality and was very instrumental of making Asti achieve its DOCG status. All right, so Barbera is an adaptable grape, and it can grow in a lot of different soils, but it thrives most in the less fertile calcareous soils and clay loams. Soils of the region actually resulted from the retreat of the Padano Sea that covered a large part of Piedmont and northern Italy 16 million years ago. And as the sea retreated, it left behind alternating layers of clay, calcareous marl, sand, and chalk, and that eroded to form the hills and the soils of the Langhe and the Roero. And although formed similar, they are a little bit different. The Langhe area is more calcareous marls, known as terra bianca, B-I-A-N-C-H, which means white soil. Roera, formed 5 million years ago, is softer and sandier and rich in marine fossils. And Barbera d'Alba extends to both sides of the Tanaro River. The right bank corresponds to the lower Langhe. I know I'm not pronouncing it right. And the left bank includes the hills of Roero. And the hills of Alba benefit a lot from daytime temperature swings that favor the aromatic development of the acid retention. Barbera d'Asti soils are calcareous marls and Sabi Astani, which is Asti sands. To the south of Asti, the soils are mostly terra bianca. In Monferrato, Barbera takes priority and can only be planted in the hillsides at an altitude not to exceed 2,000 feet. And by law, Barbera d'Asti must be 90% Barbera and age for a minimum of 4 months.
Yeah, it's very interesting, the soils that are there, and that Barbera. You always talk, or you always hear about how vines like to be stressed, and that those stressed vines create better wine, ultimately create better wine, and it's because the vine can only emit so much energy into its vine, and if it's having difficulty, if it's stressing, it's going to go into reproductive mode. And when it goes into reproductive mode, that means it's focusing its energy on the grapes themselves, since that's the seed, versus the green. So it's very, very interesting. And in Piemonte, those soils are extremely rocky and low nutrient level, so they're always in a constant stress situation. So you would think that the Barbera, being in such a stressed environment, would be a very powerful grape, or taste, but it's really not. It's a rather soft and kind of
light.
Yes, it's light, and it really, I still don't think it has a whole bunch of character to it. It's, I like it. But it's not. Barbera is not an in-your-face grape. So if you're looking for a big, right,
it's not strong, but it's easy drinking.
It is, and that's what makes it such a nice grape. That's what makes it such a nice wine. But you need to, if you're picking up a bottle of Barbera, you have to realize that it's not going to be one of those in-your-face, fruit-forward wines. It doesn't mean that they're not complex. I mean, there could be multiple layers to your Barbera. It's just not a big fruit-forward grape variety, and that kind of blows my mind a bit, because it grows in such a stressed area that usually means that it's a little bit more concentrated in that profile. But it's
just the structure of the grape, and they really still don't know the DNA of the grape either.
Right.
So
it's very interesting. So I am drinking tonight.
Almost a patio pounder, yeah, right, Michael?
Yes. It really can be a patio pounder. Mine is 13%, and it's kind of sad to say these days that 13% is a patio pounder, but that pretty much is a patio pounder.
Mine's 14.5.
All right, so you're kind of past the patio. You're going to start to feel that if you're pounding that. 13%. The other day I was drinking Sylvaner.
Okay.
And it was 12%, and I'm like, I'm not even drinking here, But it was I thought it was a beautiful wine. But at 12%, you can really have quite a bit, and that's really kind of a sad statement of today's society, I guess. But and how the wines are. Somebody I was listening to John Taylor and Christine Trice on Pairs with Life podcast, and they were drinking something that was a 15.9 labeled wine, a Syrah, 15.9, and that could. And he joked about it. He's like, all right, everybody lies. Let's just say, that's 16.5. Let's go to that. Because, you've got that 1% legal ease. But 15.9, that's a headache in a bottle. Yeah, absolutely. All right. So what are you getting in your wine, Deb?
A little raspberry, blackberry, serious red raspberry. Mine's definitely steel. There is no oak in mine.
Oh, mine's oaked. It's got to be oaked. As I mentioned when we were off camera or off live, that I kind of messed up and I put it in the refrigerator and then I forgot about it. So mine is a bit cold right now, so the aromas and flavors are muted. So this might change as the night goes on. But I am getting spice, like cardamom, like a true cardamom spice. Blackberry, a dark cherry or a black cherry, and there is cedar there. So
I get raspberry, blackberry. It's I get minerality on the palate. It's light. I can definitely taste the minerality. But it's not minerality like you would get in a white wine.
Right, it's not
like,
wet stone.
it's more like some type of a stone feeling. I wouldn't go so far to say a wet stone. It's because it's not that, but it's just there is minerality to it.
So mine actually has quite a bit of tannin to it. My gums are feeling the tannin, and on the palate it's more black. It's blackberry, black cherry. So I'm more in the dark fruit area.
I've got red with hints of black.
Okay, so I'm the opposite. I've got black with hints of red. So there is a little bit of raspberry. There's a little bit of strawberry.
And it's acidic, but it's not like it's acid in your face or in your palate. It's like a light acidity.
Yeah, it's not an acid like a Sauvignon Blanc acid, you know.
No, it's
but there's
acid almost.
mine is, but I would rate mine as a high acid because I can feel it on my tongue.
I can feel it too, but it's not like an in your face acid.
Right.
You're gonna, oh my God,
Yeah, it doesn't have the.
It doesn't take the enamel off your teeth.
Correct. But I would go high acid. I would go medium plus on acidity. It is actually, I can see my fingers through it. So medium.
Mine is darker than yours.
Can you see your fingers through it? I'm a medium minus.
Yeah.
And it's a ruby. It's definitely not purple or tawny.
Mine is darker.
So it is a ruby. And heck, for $7.99, it's a winner.
Hey, that's pretty good. That is really good. That's a great value.
Yeah,
Mine was $14.99.
Yeah, that makes up for my Aceratico that cost me an arm and a leg for. I liked the Aceratico, but that was what I think it was $29 I paid. That might have been the most expensive bottle I purchased.
$17.99 because I found the receipt. It was sitting under the.
I think that was the.
It was $17.99. So my Barbera was $14.99, but I had a $2 discount. Must have been on sale, so it was $12.99.
Ooh. And now a word from our sponsor. Did you know that Dracaena Wines now has a wine club? We named it the Chalk Club. Draco is on our label, but Vegas was getting a little jealous, so we decided he deserved to be our club spokesdog. In Las Vegas, betting chalk means that you are betting on all of the favorites. We are betting that we are one of your favorite wineries, so we thought the name was apropos. The club is simple, yet a bit different than most. When you wager on us, we will ship you 3 bottles of wine twice a year, once in April and once in September. You can choose all red or mix of red and rosé. You immediately receive 15% off of all your wine purchases throughout the year, but what makes our club stand out is the progressive discount. Let your club membership ride into the next year. Your discount increases. Each year you parlay your membership, you receive an additional 5% off up to a planned maximum of 25%. Your club shipments are discounted to a flat $15, plus we'll cover your club shipping cost for your second shipment. That's $15 house money in a sure bet for you. So please head to our website, dracenawines.com, and find out all of the benefits of joining the Chalk Club and how to sign up. We've stacked the odds so that you can get our award-winning wines without breaking the bank. All right, I'm going to talk about Natale Verga here. So Enrico Verga founded Casa Vinicola Natale Verga in 1895. It has been in the family for 4 generations, and it is currently run by Natale Verga, as well as his father, Giancarlo, and his sisters, Christina and Laura. Now, I'm going to just go on a sidebar here, like a little rant here. I think it's kind of funny that no matter what wine we pick, as long as it's Italian, there's always a Giancarlo. Always a Giancarlo when it's an Italian wine. Enrico and Eduardo, the 5th generation of the Verga family, will soon take part in the company. I'm guessing, I don't know, I'm guessing they're like 12 years old, so they'll start kicking in when they're 13. Natale Verga is involved in distribution of wines within Italy of their own brand and private labels, as well as exporting their wines and expanding to more than 30 countries. The new headquarters, ta-da, that's 2013.
Really modern.
And that's 2013. Okay?
That's way modern.
Yep. The new headquarters cover a total surface area of 35,000 square meters with a storage capacity of 46,000 quintals, which we've run into that term before, and I actually remembered that 1 quintal equals 112 pounds. Don't ask me how that number sticks in my head because I can't remember what I did this morning, but a quintal, 112 pounds, sticks in my head. And it actually has 2 completely different bottling lines. One is dedicated to glass bottles for the 750s and the 1.5 liters. And that has a production capacity of 25,000 bottles per hour. So they are jamming on that thing. Yeah. Along with another one dedicated to glass bottles of 5 liters and to the PET bottles from 3 to 5 liters. So they basically have a normal bottling line and a large bottling line. They have both BRC and IFS certifications. Now, I am going to say that they were all over this on their website, and everything I looked up on them, they were like, yes, we're BRC and IFC certified. And I'm thinking to myself, I have no effing clue what those letters mean. Is it sustainability? Is it organic? Had no clue what they are. So I had to check that. I had to research that. And a BRC certification, they actually both have to do with food. So they're hot and heavy over the fact that they're clean is basically what it is. So BRC certification is an internationally recognized mark of food safety and quality. The certification is achieved by undertaking a third-party audit against a standard requirement of an accredited certification body. And a BRC rates that certification body on their technical performance and efficiency in customer service. It takes 6 months to get certified versus the 3 years it takes to be organic and things like that. An IFS certification shows that the certified company has established a system suitable for ensuring food and product safety, and that is considered implemented customer specifications. So basically, they're accepted by our version of the FDA. So they had their bottling line, their winery, all of that stuff is safe. So I guess they probably have one of those signs that says, have not had an accident in X amount of days. And they are, nice to the customer service wise. So that's what those 2 certifications mean. So that is Natale Verga.
Okay, so I've got mine, which is Terry di Barolo. I just had to do a screenshot of the front page because I just really like the saying.
Oh, I saw that someplace else.
It said, it is the miracle of each grower, their work to produce the end product. Because they are a cooperative.
Okay.
So each cluster of grapes tells the story of the miracle of the seasons, of the sun and the rain, of the work that encompasses thousands of nuances. And that is so true because that's the work of the season. You don't know what way it's going to go, and it is the miracle of what God has given you in form of, sun, rain.
The problems of being a farmer.
And everything. So Catena Terra del Barolo was founded in 1958 when Arnaldo Rivera, who was...
Is he related to Geraldo?
You never know. You never know. He was the Castellón Faleto's mayor, and he decided to set up a cooperative with 21 local growers.
Okay.
And today, the 21 local growers has expanded to 11 villages that make up the appellation with more than 300 members and 650 hectares that are grown. Terra de Barolo means the magic of a community of workers that have turned wine into a miracle. So I wanted to put this on because when you visit their website, they list all their growers, and it's kind of really cool. So this is part of a picture of all their growers, 300 of them, and it lists them, the year they came into the consortium. It gives background on it. It shows a picture of them. I thought it was just really nice. It's a real nice kind of like they're all one big family.
That's
nice.
Know,
going for the same, same outcome. They're all, they're all in it together for the betterment of farming, wine, lifestyle, and all. This is my wine. And so when researching it, it's clear that there's different labels for the wine where the wine's exporting, because this is not the label that was on the website for this particular bottle.
Okay.
So I thought that was quite interesting. So that's
different
really
requirements. Different requirements for different countries of what's on the label.
I don't know. So what was on their website was more like your label.
Oh, okay.
So I'm kind of thinking this, well, you can't see my pointer thing, is more like a coat of arms.
Right.
To me, I couldn't find anything defining off their website. So.
Did you have your international thingamajiggy on it?
I do have the international, the DOCG thingy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the technical term, thingy.
Yeah, the thingy. The DOCG thingy.
Right. Okay.
And it's got the number on it, ABCD 5092980. Then it's got a bunch of other characters underneath, kind of like what's on your VIN number on your car.
Right. So mine is ABIV, so I guess that's what determines the region.
What's yours? AB?
IV.
And mine's ABCD.
Yeah. So, I don't know what that must mean something or another. But pretty interesting. So on a scale of 1 to 10, for your price that you paid, would you buy again or not buy again?
I would buy again. I would say it's probably a 7.
7?
7.5.
Yeah.
I would definitely buy this again. I think this would be a nice summer red. I don't know about you, but heavier reds in the summer I can't drink because it just gets hotter, In the wintertime, this will go with lighter food.
Right.
It would not go with a steak. I can't see mine pairing with a steak.
No, but I'm going to say as this is warming up, it's going more into the red tones.
Oh, is it?
Now there's raspberry. As it's warming up, there's raspberry. No, it would not. I don't see it going with a steak. I think that's a bit too big for it.
Yeah.
I think it needs a smoke, gaminess.
Yeah.
I mean, it definitely can go with meat, but I think it needs a little bit more of a savory aspect of it versus meat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But you know how I feel about steak. Nothing goes with steak for me.
Yes,
So.
it would go with a pizza.
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah, well.
Yeah.
Yes. Is there really, well, I was going to say, is there really a wine that doesn't go with pizza? But yeah, Cab doesn't go with pizza. Yes, I think that pizza is by far the #1 pairing with any lighter red wine. there is.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at my other bottle that I opened last night that I don't even remember what that was, but that went with the calzone very nicely.
Ooh. Yeah, would go nice with a calzone.
Yeah, yeah. The nice little tomato sauce, little ricotta, all of that. Yeah, very nice, very nice. All right, so I am going to go into the food pairings. So Barbera is known for its high acidity, and it makes it the acidity level of it makes it extremely food friendly. So you need somewhat rich food to cut through that acidity, but thanks to the acidity, it can also cut through the fat in some of, in the dishes. So this is, pour on the cheese, pour on the cream, and you are going to be in heaven with a Barbera. So this is actually a Parmesan one-pot creamy pasta. And A, I love things that can be made in one pot. But B, cream, Parmesan, there's really not anything better on the face of the earth as far as I am concerned. Except maybe pizza. Risotto. I think this might be the perfect pairing for a Barbera. Now this is a creamy, again, one pot, but creamy risotto, which I think would be amazing.
Is that a truffle?
It is a black truffle. I personally would remove the black truffle because I don't do fungus, but I can see how that savoriness, that earthiness of a truffle would be like the perfect companion for this Barbera. I think that savoriness, that earthiness, that forest floor that a black truffle is going to provide is going to be very nice with the Barbera. Do you think it goes with your Barbera?
I think it would go with an oak Barbera better than mine.
Oh, okay. I get that.
Because then you get a little bit of the earth, the spice.
Right. And I get yours is crisper.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we get into those game meats. So this is roast duck, and as you know, that's never ever going to be on my plate. But again, that's
on our
menu. So that's going. That gaminess, though, I think is going to pull out that smokiness and that spice that Barbera has. So I think that it would be an excellent pairing. And the fact that duck doesn't, well, I can't really speak because I have never ever tasted duck in my life, but
okay.
I don't think that duck is a powerful gamey meat.
No, it's not. It's not like a venison or ostrich or whatever.
Right. So
no, it's not. This I can see going well with duck.
I think it's got just enough gaminess to pull out those essences within the wine of a Barbera.
I'll tell you, we did pork belly for dinner tonight, and this would go well with the pork belly.
What do you even do? How do you even cook pork belly? Like, bleh. No, I don't want to know how you cook. I don't really want to know how you cook.
The chef on Saturday how to cook the pork belly because we watched him cook it for the restaurant, and I had a strip of pork belly in my freezer. So we took it out and we cooked it today. Oh my God, it was awesome.
So
this would taste really well with it.
So, like, is pork belly really belly? Like, you're eating their stomach?
Bacon. Think bacon. Do you do bacon?
Only if it's burnt to an absolute crisp so that when I pick it up, it stands straight up and defies gravity. So all you taste is salt.
There is some fat to it, but it is crisp.
Nope.
It was good.
Nope. And hell no to that, but a yes to a pairing. Wild pheasant. So wild pheasant, I think, again, a pheasant is not going to be an overly gamey meat, so it's going to go well. And then when you bring in that mushroom, I just think that you've hit a home run with a Barbera. But since I don't eat pheasant and I don't eat mushroom, I can't attest to that personally. But
I can see pheasant's kind of like chicken. Maybe dark meat.
Everything tastes like
but
chicken.
I can see the mushroom. I definitely can see the mushroom aspect of it.
Yeah, I think that's a home run for a Barbera.
Oh, really? Michael says pork belly is a favorite out there for winemaker dinner.
Oh, hell no. Okay.
Rabbit. So there you got the mushroom again.
Yes, again, and this is the common theme. The mushrooms are in there. Braised rabbit. Again, these are all game that are not.
I've had rabbit before at a wine dinner, actually. That was overcooked at the Mad Batter, a restaurant in town.
Oh.
But I can see the Barbera. I can see the Barbera, my Barbera that's not oaked, going with the rabbit.
See, I liked this one because I thought both the rosemary is going to bring in some essence also of, besides that mushroom. I really think rosemary is a great spice to go with the Barbera.
I think so too.
Braised rabbit. Just saying, while in Vegas, I was playing the Monty Python. Yeah. See, I was going to Monty Python Seeks the Holy Grail and run away, run away. I'm not going to lie. I won a lot of money on the slot machine of Monty Python Seeks the Holy Grail. So not only do I love the movie, but I love that slot machine. And of course, okay, all of the charcuterie meats, that spice, that saltiness, those dried meats, that is perfect. Now, in this photo, there is orange, and I'm going to say no to that. Okay? No, 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 no. Don't go citrusy.
No, don't go citrus.
And I think this is cheddar, which I would say no, 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 no. But Parmesan, yes. And definitely the dried meats. Not so sure about the olive stuff going on there, because I'm guessing that that's probably in a vinaigrette, and I would not go vinaigrette with this. What do you think?
No, I would go with an aged cheese.
Right. I would too, but I don't. In my brain, cheddar is not aged. Even an aged cheddar is not happening.
Like I'm really into right now is aged Gouda.
Oh, well, you know what? Honestly, aged Gouda is a wine's best friend. There's not too many different wines that aged Gouda cannot.
ShopRite's been having this some type of aged Gouda on sale. $9.99 a pound, and every time I'm in ShopRite, I just grab
the
thing. It just it's great with the wine.
And I have to actually think pistachios, maybe, but I'm not sold on the pistachios, but maybe, but definitely these meats, and I don't know what that is. Those look like cut Slim Jims.
Yeah, probably some type of salami or something.
Yeah. And since we are rolling into the Thanksgiving holiday, I do know that some people actually do not do turkey and they do pork for Thanksgiving. And the reason why I picked this,
that whole roll of fat on that pork.
Oh yeah, that is a lot. But the reason why I picked this one is because anything, in my opinion, cherry, sage, cinnamon is a Barbera Wana pairing. Yeah. And this image has the apple cherry, the cherry and sage in the pork, but it's got the apple with the cinnamon, like kind of as a dressing. And so when I found this, I thought this was the trifecta of pairings for a Barbera. So,
as is my pork belly that we made tonight.
Okay, we'll go with that.
But that looked good, that pork roast.
Right? So that I thought was
and everything,
the trifecta for Barbera.
So some Barbera fact. In 2014, UNESCO added the hills of the Lang, Roero, and Monferrato to the World Heritage Site list with the official name of Vineyard Landscape of Piemonte. This is to recognize the Langhi, Roero, and I know I'm not pronouncing these right, and Monferrato's outstanding landscape of the historic winemaking region. So here I wanted to go over the labels a little bit. So this is a superior, but Barbera di Asti DOCG and Barbera Asti DOCG Superior may carry the name of Vigna, Vigna, which I believe yours did, Lori. You have that on your label, Vigna?
I don't see it, no.
No? Why did I think you did? Well, that meaning the name of the locally recognized place or subzone on the label. Fields for both Vigna and Vigna Superior wines require 8 tons per acre with a minimum alcohol of 12.5%. And that's considered Piemonte's finest Barbera.
Well, it qualifies for that, so maybe it's in the back.
I saw the Vigna on the label.
I'm not seeing it. No, it's got the DOCG written out. No, I don't see it there, but
I must have been hallucinating.
Or I'm just not seeing it. That's a distinct possibility.
Okay, so the
font is really, really small. The font is really, really small.
Okay. The Barbera di Asti DOCG Superia and Superia Vigna must age at least 6 months in oak and can be released after 14 months, starting from the 1st November in the year of the harvest, when the countdown starts.
Isn't that cool? Like different countries, like it's kind of like Germany. There's the pick date in Germany, and here they start in November and you count from there.
Right.
So it's I love foreign country wine.
I know. Excuse me. I just swallowed the wrong way. Hate when that happens. So Barbera di Asti is the second largest Piemontese appellation after Asti DOCG with regard to production. And here we have some pictures of the grapes.
That's a tight cluster.
What?
That's a very tight cluster.
That is, isn't it? So there are 62,900 acres planted worldwide, with 52,600 planted in Italy, 7,000 in the U.S., and 2,000 in Australia, 1,300 in Argentina. In the United States, in Italy, they're planted in Alba, Oesta, Asti, Monteferrato, Puglia, and Sardinia. In the United States, they're in the Sierra Foothills, Central Valley, and Santa Barbara. In Australia, they're in Mudgee, McLaren Vale, and the Adelaide Hills. And in Argentina, they're in San Juan and Mendoza. Traditional Barbera is considered the people's wine because it's easy drinking. It's meant to be enjoyed young, and it's inexpensive. So pick up a bottle and enjoy it today. Or if you have one that Lori has, you can, age it for up to 10 years.
Yeah, the oak ones can age. I'm going to go with this one. I would drink this one within like 5 years. I wouldn't go 10 with this one. But
So mine's a 2017, so we're in 2019, and I think it's drinking really well.
Mine's a 17.
Yours is 17?
Yes, mine's a 17. Mine is a 17 also. So I'd give it like 3 more years. I would go 2021. That would be 2022 technically. But yeah.
I'd say 1 more year, and then all bets are off.
Yeah, no, this has got longer than that. I'm enjoying it. Is it my favorite? No. But it's for $7.99. It's a solid wine. I think it would be a much better wine with some of those food pairings that I had, versus the porch pounder type thing. It is getting softer as it warms up, and like I said, it has moved into some more red fruit. Now it smells like cherry pie.
Oh, now I'm getting a little spice on mine.
Yeah, there's definite spice on mine. But there's more red fruit onto it now. That is our Barbera. So, Deb, what's coming up next?
Coming up next, we're doing Chenin Blanc.
We are.
And we have a little date change on this because I've totally screwed up with the month of December.
You're going on vacation.
As my availability. I am going away on the 15th of December, to Iceland for 5 days. So,
and I would like to hide in your suitcase.
And then the week before that, I'm in New York City for a couple days, and then I'm back in the Hudson Valley for a couple days. So I've totally messed up our month of December. So for December, Chenin Blanc is going to be on Wednesday, December 11th, same time. And here is the link for December to sign up. We hope you can make it. I know December is a very busy month with Christmas parties and obligations of sort. I hope you all can join us.
And I kind of had a little sidebar reason why we were doing Chenin Blanc, because I spent the entire summer researching Paso Robles Chenin Blanc because that's what Mike wants to make next. I do not have a Chenin Blanc yet, so it will.
I've got 2.
Do you? Where are they from?
I'm both wine club members at the wineries. I've got a Chapelet and a Passaggio.
Oh, very, very nice.
So I have to decide which one I'm going to uncork.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to do a little looking around. So, but anyway, that will be on December 11th, on Wednesday, December 11th. So before all of the real hectic stuff starts going on with the holidays. And we hope you can join us there. And thank you for joining us tonight for Barbera. I hope whatever you have in your glass you are enjoying. So, Sláinte.
Cheers.
This has been another episode of Exploring the Wine Glass. Thanks for listening. If you have suggestions on what topics you would like me to discuss, please reach out on social media. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook as Exploring the Wine Glass. I'm also on LinkedIn as Lori Hoyt-Budd. Of course, you can always email me at exploringthewineglass@gmail.com. If you enjoyed our podcast, please rate, review, and subscribe on your favorite podcast catcher to help others find me more easily. Until next week, Sláinte.